Hey there, I've got quite a mess on the table here, but I just wanted to show you real quick before I started this video that this is butcher paper, and the cool thing about butcher paper is when your paint dries, you can take it and peel it right off. It's kind of like magical. So I just wanted to point that out. If you decide to get butcher paper, it's in my Amazon link below, or you can buy it at Hobby Lobby, I think. It's not craft paper. This has a plastic coating on one side, so it does not stick. So I just wanted to point that out. Here's all of the stuff I just peeled up super easily. I'm not going to clean up my whole table. I just wanted to show you that though. And then I'm going to do another pour. I've been on a roll here. I've done two others that were cosmic. I called them Cosmic Galaxy. They were very colorful, and I liked Gina DeLuca's style of acrylic painting, pouring. And I wanted to try it one more time, and the reason being is that when I did mine, the two other ones, they were with mixed brands, and so this time I am using strictly Liquitex and Floetrol, and I'm not switching out brands or anything. Everything is straight out Liquitex. So just wanted to point that out. But before I do that, this was a canvas I painted a few weeks ago. I called it Spring Bouquet, and it was one of those that I kept messing up and I kept adding, and it turned into not too bad a thing. It's just colorful, and it was with pearlescent paints. So you see the shimmer there, a little bit of the pearlescence. So I wanted to show you how I seal my canvases. So I've got me a damp paper towel with some Dawn dish liquid, and I'm just going over the whole surface. To try to remove any leftover silicone or oily substance. I have baby powder here, so I mean, you could even, I've seen people say that powder works. Rub it on, and then take your damp paper towel or whatever and totally wipe it down, get the powder back off. But this is usually even more than I typically do. And then I've got another damp one that I'm going to go over it one more time, make sure there's no powder residue of any sort. This canvas has a little give to it, I noticed, and what I'll do is, after I've sealed it, what you can do if your canvas is not like super tight is you spray the back of it with water in a squirt bottle. Spray the material side that doesn't have the paint and primer and everything on it, and then you let it dry, or you blow dry it, but I usually just blow dry it a little bit and then let it dry for a while, and that will make it a lot tighter. That's just a little trick. I'm going to use High Gloss Varnish by Liquitex. It's very, it's kind of milky looking, and it's very watery, very fluid. And then, like I said, I use a sponge brush and I put the date on it. So that says March 26th. So that's the last time I used it. And it's still moist, so it's all good. I'm not saying I keep one for a month, but it can definitely go at least a week or so if you're using it multiple times. So what I do is I pour a pretty good amount onto it, and I'm basically going to go every direction at first just to make sure I get every inch of the canvas covered. And it will kind of look like it's separating, and that's where I just keep on brushing over it. And then I'm going to eventually just go all in one direction, but I want to make sure I have all edges covered. And you don't want any stop and start marks, so you, on your final pass, you go all the way to the ends in one direction and back in the other, like all horizontally. You don't crisscross or anything like that. And if you need to do it one more time, then you do it very, very lightly. And so I'm just looking at my reflection here from the window. I can see, you know, where I've put it, and just make sure that I've got every bit of it covered. And of course, do your sides. So there it is. And you know, it has a little bit of brush strokes, or you know, whatever you want to call it. It's not perfect, but this first coat is just the first coat, and then the second coat you can really kind of put on even heavier. And when you put on a little bit heavier and you do a really light touch, it will level out better. So I'm going to let this dry for a few hours, and I'm putting my brush right back in the Ziploc bag and sealing it, making sure there's no air. And I'll use it again for the next 2 or 3 coats. So that is how I varnish my canvases. And you can use spray, and I do have spray, but I use it for smaller canvases because with spray a lot of times it will look splotchy, and it's kind of hard to get a really, really good even coat. And then you also have to do it outside in the right temperature, and if you've got, you know, weather to deal with, then that's an issue. So I like the fact that I can use a water-based varnish that's not toxic or anything, and you know, so I'm just double checking to make sure I have it all covered. So there it is, and that varnish will bring out your colors again too, kind of like when they were wet. So I'm going to put this aside to dry. So this next canvas is an 18 by 24. So I always write it on, well, it's actually printed on the back, but I'm going to write it anyway. It just helps me keep up with my paintings because I have so many of them. I've got push pins in the corners. And this is going to get a coat of white in a minute. But as usual, the mixing begins, and I wanted to show you. And I'm using all Liquitex Basics. This is Dioxazine Purple. This is Light Blue Violet. And I put just a little bit of Dioxazine Purple on top of that. This is Deep Violet. So actually it will probably go in that order. I'm changing it up just a little bit from the other one I did. And actually that one would go there. This one is Cerulean Blue, and I put a little bit of Phthalocyanine Green in with it. And then I have my bright aqua green, which I love, and I've put a little bit of the Phthalocyanine Green in there. Then I have my lime color. Well, it's brilliant yellow green, and it's not lime, so I added some cadmium yellow to it. So I'm going to wait and see if I need to alter that at all. And then my next cup is yellow oxide, and I put some cadmium yellow with that. I always kind of mix my own colors a little bit because sometimes you just don't have the exact color you want, and so that's where I end up mixing. I've got metallic gold, which is just straight out gold, and that's in this cup. So their bronze is, you know, kind of a rosy color. I'm going to try it. I had used, on the last pour, I used a different bronze. It was that Lumiere, which was by Jacquard, and that's in my link as well, and it was a beautiful bronze color. It was more of a golden brown. This is a little bit more of a pinky bronze, so I'm not so sure about it, but I'm going to use a little bit of that. And then I've got my orange, Cadmium Orange HUe, and I put a little bit of the Quinacridone Magenta with it. So I'm trying to take away a little bit of the orange there. And then this one is Cadmium Red Deep Hue, and I put a little bit of Quinacridone in with that as well. So I'm going to mix these up. And make sure I have the color I want first. Okay, so that made that orange like really deep. I didn't want it to be quite that deep. So what I'm going to do is spoon some of this out with my stick into the red cup. I do want to keep some of this, and I'm going to put more orange back in. And these are probably about 4-ounce cups, and I really only want about 2 ounces of paint. I'm going to have more than 2 ounces, but when I add the Floetrol to it. So that's goes a little bit more red. Take some more out. Put some more orange in. I'm going to stick a little cadmium yellow in here and see if I can get this back to an orange. Because red and yellow make orange. So that's better. It's not as bright as this orange is, but that's okay. So this one is the yellow ochre, well no, the yellow oxide and some cadmium yellow. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more cadmium and a hint of white. So that white lightens it up a bit. So I think that's okay. And this is the brilliant yellow green. So I'm sticking with all Liquitex, and I don't have like a Christmassy green, grassy green. So I'm going to put a little bit of Hooker's green in. I want it deepened just a bit. I'm going to put a little bit more. That's Brilliant Yellow and a little bit more Cadmium Yellow. Cadmium Yellow Medium. So that deepened it up a little bit. So this is kind of a lesson in mixing colors, huh? Then this one is the bright aqua green with a little of the Phthalocyanine Green in it. And this is the color of the walls that I'm thinking about. Of course, you're going to have every color in the rainbow in this, so it doesn't matter as much. But there's that color. And this is the bright blue violet with Dioxazine Purple. So it's going to be a lighter purple, and I want a lot of purple if I can get a lot of purple. This one is the Cerulean Blue hue with a little Phthalocyanine Green. So it's more of a, this is more of a blue green, that's more of a aqua green. This is the aqua blue or aqua green. So this has more of a blue cast, that has more of a green cast. So, and then I've got my red to mix up here. So this is kind of a deeper red, which I like. And maybe what I'm going to do is add a little bit of deep violet to this. I want to draw out the purple as much as I can. I'm kind of going for the purple thing. So this makes it a deeper red, which is nice. Whenever you're mixing, always make sure to scrape around all your edges to combine your paint and make sure you're not missing anything. So I've got that. So, got the bronze, I got the gold. I'm not going to use much of the bronze, but it's okay. And so I got the Dioxazine Purple, Deep Violet, that colors, all these are mixed to the colors I basically want. So everything is Liquitex, from the white to all the colors. And I will list all the colors below the video. But of course, like I said, I mixed, you know, some of them myself. So my ratio that I want to go with is 2 to 1. 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. So what I'm going to do is, for every part paint, I'm going to double that with the Floetrol. And, you know, I just eyeball it. I don't weigh it or measure it or anything like that. I just basically pour in as much as I think it needs to double what is already there. And then I also have to add water to this because anything in tubes is going to be thicker and you're going to have to add water to get it to the right consistency to pour off your stick like you want it to. See, like this one I don't have much at all, so this cup will not be nearly as full as the others. I'm going to add and make sure if you get Floetrol It's latex based. That means water based. I have my white already mixed up in a big solo cup that I'm going to base coat the canvas with. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to mix up the paints and add the water to get it to the right consistency. I'll fast forward through that so you can just see basically what I'm doing and then do the pouring part. So I've got a lot of colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to put the colors into a 2 cup or 16 ounce glass measuring cup. So I have a glass measuring cup and I use it because it has the spout on it, which I wanted, instead of putting it in a big cup. And the other thing too, if you're going for a bigger canvas, make sure you have support in the center because the weight of the paint is heavier when you put this much paint on a canvas. So I'm going to tilt it. I'm going to get rid of these sticks. So I'm going in a little bit of a different order, more of the rainbow effect. Gina, when she poured hers, she went in the gradient kind of way from the purple on, but I'm adding the green and the turquoises, but I want to end with purple again because purple is my focus and the gold part is my focus. So here we go, and I'm going to pour it. I'm not going to use all of the purple. So the purple should come out on the top. I'm actually going to put a hint of the violet color. Well, it's not violet, it's a light violet. I need 16 ounces of paint, so I don't need all of these colors, all of them, because I've got 3 or 4 ounces in each cup. I'm going to use a good bit of the gold. I want a good amount of that color. A little bit more of this lighter violet here. It's bronze, but to me it's more of a rosy color. But I'm going to put a good amount of this on it, almost all of it. and a good amount of the gold. Woo! Here I go, spilling out. Guess I don't need to tilt it anymore, do I? I don't mind if this drips on here, but I am going to put white underneath everything. Okay, so I want to go back to a little bit of this violet. And the Dioxazine Purple. And a little bit of this lighter purple. Okay, so I've got plenty of paint. It's all layered up. I wish I could show you from the side. It looks like a rainbow. Great part about these little cups are that I have lids for them. What the heck, I might keep putting a few little colors down. So I'll use these again for other paintings, or they'll go into my bottles, the squeeze bottles that I always keep paint in. My white. I have a group of sticks. I had them under something I resined, and so the sticks are resined together. I can't get them apart. So if you wonder why I have multiple sticks, that's why they were underneath something to keep it level. Plastic scraper. Everything that I use today should be in the Amazon link below if you're looking for something. You can probably find these at any hardware store. I do want the white to kind of go over the edges, because for the most part this pour is going to be on the surface. And if it drips over the edge, that's fine, but my goal is not to get it to go over all the edges, because the goal is just to get what I want on the surface the way I want it to look. Okay, are we ready to pour? It's really pretty inside the cup. So I'm just going to let it sit for a minute. So it looks like a tree ring pour, but I didn't like swirl it. It just coming out straight. That's the way it kind of did. So I'm just going to let it sit for a minute. And I feel like, let's see. put some popsicle sticks under the push pins because I felt like it was kind of going that way. I don't know if everything's totally level. I have to work on my kitchen dining room table, so but I'm just letting it kind of spread on its own for a few minutes. Trying to decide which way I want to go first. Now I'm going to go back to the center with the weight of the paint. This is just gorgeous. I'm loving it. The red always kind of takes over. It's very strong, even though I only used maybe 1.5 ounces or so. Between the violet and the red, but I love this. I'm glad I put the lighter purple in. So I like the fact that I have some metallic gold, and I'm going to add some here. I may end up using a lot more of the paint. And say I'm not even doing them. They don't have to be the same order, really. And I could have left it white, but I want this to be really bold and colorful. Just making sure that this color goes over the edges, and I'm still gonna do something with these colors. The last time I used a plastic fork, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do that or try something different. There, but anyway, so I'm gonna shift a little this way. I don't want to lose this, so I'm rolling the skewer. I love it, I love it, I love it. I am just tickled pink with it. I just love these bright, bold colors. I'm going to clean my hands off and bring the camera down. So here's where I fussed with the corners. Oh, I haven't even put the heat gun on it. Let's try that. Again, unlike Gina's beautiful one that she did on her YouTube video that I just loved, she had these massively large cells, and I did not have them. I did not put any silicone at all in any of the colors or the white. It is strictly the color, Liquitex Basics colors, Floetrol, and water. That's what's making these cells. So there's areas like here where the metallic color blended in with the greenish turquoise, and so it went a little bit brownish looking there, but it's all kinds of colors mixed in, and this will change, but you see the vibrancy of the colors, but it's just really beautiful. Very rainbow, and this is like, this part here is, I'm glad I put the lighter purple underneath, which is going to pop through hopefully. I would love to, that looks kind of bluish in the camera, but in real life it's deep purple. So it's a beautiful striation of color. So there it is. Another one of my cosmic galaxies. I'm going to go back to my regular swiping technique and do some more beautiful artwork hopefully with that, because I do love to to do the swiping technique and create something kind of unexpected. I never really plan it. You know, I did do the butterfly and a few things, but I like to just kind of wing it and take it from there and see what happens. But if you like this, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel, and I will list all the products below that I've used in this video. Thank you.